We have been married now for 300 days, so we thought we would give you an update on what has happened in our lives in the last 100 days.
You already know what happened the first 100, first 200, now 300.
Yes.
So in December, we went to the Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter. We got to bring Jamie and Paul with us, Josh's sister and her husband, and we had a really fun time together. We got a cool car, and we got to see our very good friend, Mrs. Inez.
And her new husband.
And her husband. And we had a really sweet time with them. It's just kind of a fun time to get away and spend some time together and celebrate Christmas.
Yeah. Christmas time, we had Alyssa's family at our house, and so they were here for a week, along with her sister and brother-in-law and their little baby, and her youngest sister and her brother. And so this place was crazy. Our utility bills went up a little.
Well, there's more than just 2 people here.
Yeah. Had some nice food, had some fun games.
We played at Mall of America.
Oh yeah.
Played handbells.
We did. We played handbells at Mall of America. Now we're kind of going off on a rabbit trail, but that's okay.
What was the fun things about Christmas? And then in January, we went to camp a few times at IRBC to help with some meltdowns, taking some pictures, doing some video, working in the kitchen. That kept us busy back and forth. And then we spent
Christmas at my family's house.
Yes.
And by that I mean New Year's Day. But we celebrated Christmas with my family on that day. So that was another trip down to Iowa. And then at the end of Iowa, we went to the Refresh Conference.
The end of January?
Yes, I said the end of Iowa. The end of January, we went to the Refresh Conference down at Faith. Had a great time there. And so that was good.
That was January.
Oh, we also went somewhere else in January.
Where did we go?
Florida.
Oh yeah, for my grandpa's birthday. We went down to celebrate his birthday with a bunch of family, and we got together, hung out at a hotel, had lots of really tasty food, and enjoyed traveling. I kind of got sick, but you know, that's the side part of working at the daycare with all the children.
Yep. February, we were at camp, I think, one more time, and then...
That was with our church.
I feel like we went somewhere else. Maybe we didn't. March, we went to a wedding in Chicago just a couple weeks ago and photographed a wedding there.
And a week before that, we went out to Pennsylvania to see my parents.
That's right, yes.
To the ABWE headquarters. We were going for just a preview of what the missions program is like out there. And we got there, and I think maybe 2 hours or so after we had been in Pennsylvania, we got a call saying that the conference was canceled because of all of the coronavirus stuff. But God is still good, because we got to go and we got to have our own tour of ABWE, and we got to meet people and have some really great conversations, kind of what we were hoping to get by going to the conference, but God just had a different plan for it.
Yep, and we visited Hershey, Pennsylvania, since we had the time. And got some free chocolate, and so...
Just enjoyed time with my parents, too.
Yeah.
That was really sweet.
Yep, played the Wii, Lego Star Wars. We needed some little kids to help us figure out, because it was pretty hard.
We eventually got it.
Yeah, we did.
And then it was like midnight, and time to be done.
Yes.
So the big progress was finishing the downstairs bedroom. We were down to the wire with that for when my parents came.
For Christmas.
Yes. He was still tacking down the carpet, finishing up, putting in some trim, I think, when they walked in the door. So they helped us put up the Christmas trees, and we're still enjoying them.
They also helped us put up our bed, kind of. We stopped. We bought a loft bed, an IKEA one off Craigslist, and we didn't realize that the bed was almost as high as our ceiling, about 7 feet tall. So
that didn't work.
Yeah. So it was another month later when we finally got the legs chopped down to a good size, and now it looks great in there.
Yeah.
But it's so much more well lit now with the can lights that we put in there.
No more paneling.
No more fancy blue carpet.
Oh, that carpet.
Yeah. And then we've also worked in the hallway downstairs, a little bit in the bathroom, in the closet, storage closet, putting in some new lighting. And so it's really bright down there now. We love it.
Just little steps at a time. But a lot of these things are like, it's like all the little foundation things before you get to the big, like, we get to paint the walls and change the floor kind of stuff.
Fixing things that the previous owners, or probably the original builders, did weird and not very well. And so that has added some extra time, but we enjoyed it because now we know that it's done right and we get to live in it and enjoy it.
So that's the topic of conversation these days.
Obviously.
I feel like everywhere you go, whoever you get to talk to, maybe within 6 feet, you're going to talk about the coronavirus. It's changed a little bit, but not a ton actually, because we still have jobs. We're still working. I work at a daycare, and that's considered essential. So I have a letter in my car and everything, so I can still go back and forth to work and keep up that way. I have fewer hours, but I still get to work, and that's a blessing. I get to see people at work and kids and all of that.
Yep. And I'm a pastor, and so my job is actually considered essential because pastors need to help their people, visit them, do work to put services online. And so even though we now have a 2-week shelter in place here in Minnesota, both of us are exempt from that. So we don't just go around sightseeing and all that, but we still do our normal jobs. And so in that sense, our lives really haven't changed too much. We just do things a little differently, but we haven't lost our jobs like a lot of people have, and we're not permanently stuck at home every single day. She did mention that the ABWE conference that we were going to, or that 2-day thing, was canceled. So that affected us a little. Not too much. The wedding we did in Illinois went from being a wedding of about 300 people to a small family wedding of less than 50. And so that was quite a bit different, but not really for us. It was different for them. So honestly, our lives haven't changed a whole lot.
I mean, we still wash our hands and do all the important things.
Stuff we were already doing.
Yeah. It is sad, though, to know that we won't get to see our church family quite as much. Because we've still gone into church on Sundays to just work on stuff or whatever, but it's strange to be there and not to be with our family.
That being said, because we don't get to see our kids at church a lot, or the adults really, we decided to start a new YouTube show called Around the World with Joshua and Alyssa. And so we started that this week on Sunday morning, and we're going to do that every week on Sunday morning for as long as this continues. And when it's done, we plan to still continue. We'll just do it during a different time because we're having fun with it already. And so if you haven't already, you can subscribe to our channel and watch those videos every week when we put those out.
Just kind of a fun little piece of traveling and a missionary story, and then a current story about a missionary right now, which is kind of fun.
As far as the coronavirus goes, I don't like that people are getting sick and people are dying. But on the other hand, we have to remember this is part of life. This is part of the curse, part of the consequences of sin, that these things happen. This is just one of those ways that it's happening that we never expected. And I do enjoy having a little extra time, not always feeling so rushed and having to get from place to place. And I hope that a lot of families like you guys are taking advantage of this, because it's not necessarily a bad thing. This is how a lot of families functioned many years ago, and a lot of people in other countries, life is a little slower for them. And here in America, we just have got caught up into being so busy that we feel like life has to be that way, and it doesn't have to be that way. And so we're taking advantage of the opportunities God has given us and seeing it as another blessing, because God takes bad things and makes them good for believers. And
God's still in control.
Yeah.
Didn't surprise him. It doesn't surprise him. He still knows and he cares.
Yep. So like many of you, we don't know what rest of this spring and rest of this summer will look like. We're not going to the Olympics this year anymore.
Yeah.
But we do know that whatever God has planned, it's going to be great. And someday we're going to look back on this in the history books and say, We were a part of it. We never would have wanted it to come, but we're thankful it did. And we're excited to see what God will do during this time for us and for you guys. Thank you. The next thing to come up is our 1-year anniversary in 66 days, because it's a leap year. And so we will have another video at that time and kind of reflect on what God has done in our lives and our first year of marriage. I originally did not want to get married last year. I wanted to wait till this year. And now I'm glad we didn't wait, because things would have been a little different. She might still be stuck overseas.
Yeah.
But until the next time we see you, love God, make new friends, and eat your snacks. Thank you.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video and want to keep up on our lives and see what God continues to do, feel free to give this video a like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Leave a comment. If you have any questions for us, please leave a comment. We'd love to interact with you more. If you have something you'd like us to talk about or a question you would like us to answer the next time we do this, please let us know. And we would love to answer those questions and get to know you better. But thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yep.